Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts multiple benefits of clean energy should reach agriculture sector. Says India ranks in top 10 nations in Climate Change Performance Index. Prime Minister releases elaborative roadmap for development of ethanol sector on World Environment Day. Launches E100 pilot project in Pune related to distribution of ethanol. Forest and tree cover in India increases by 24.56% to over 8 lakh square kilometers, says Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar. India reports 1,20,000 daily new cases of COVID-19, lowest in nearly 2 months. National recovery rate further increases to 93.38%. Over 22 crore 78 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Lockdown extended in Delhi with certain relaxations. Markets and malls to be opened on odd-even basis. Tamil Nadu also extends lockdown till 14th of June with relaxations. Ministry of Information and Technology sends final notice to Twitter for immediate compliance with new IT rules. And in French Open tennis, Serena Williams storms into fourth round with straight sets win. In the wake of COVID-19, we appeal to our listeners not to lower their guard and stay safe and protected by following these simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and get vaccinated. For providing COVID-related information and guidance to people, national helpline numbers 011 23978046 and 1075 are operational. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said multiple benefits of clean energy has to reach the agriculture sector of India. The Prime Minister was addressing an event on the occasion of World Environment Day. On the occasion, the Prime Minister released a report of the Expert Committee on Roadmap for Ethanol Blending in India 2020 to 2025. He also launched a pilot project of E100 dispensing stations at 3 locations in Pune. Mr. Modi said ethanol has today become a priority to maintain healthy environment.
विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस के अवसर पर भारत ने एक और बड़ा कदम उठाया है। इथेनॉल सेक्टर के विकास के लिए एक विस्तृत रोड मैप आज अभी मुझे जारी करने का सौभाग्य मिला है। देश भर में इथेनॉल के उत्पादन और वितरण से जुड़ा महत्वाकांक्षी E100 पायलट प्रोजेक्ट भी पुणे में लॉन्च किया गया है। मैं पुणे वासियों को बधाई देता हूं। हम अपने तय लक्ष्यों को समय पर हासिल कर पाएं, इसके लिए मैं बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
The Prime Minister said the government is focusing on the production and usage of ethanol for agricultural use. Food grain waste distilleries are being set up using modern technology across the nation. The Prime Minister stated that India ranks in the top 10 nations in the Climate Change Performance Index. He said India is paving way for energy transition for the future.
जलवायु परिवर्तन के खतरे से निपटने के लिए जो वैश्विक प्रयास चल रहे हैं, उनमें भारत एक आशा की किरण बनकर के उभरा है। एक विश्वस्त मानव जात के कल्याण के लिए एक विश्वस्त साथी के रूप में आज भारत ने अपनी पहचान बनाई है। जो दुनिया कभी भारत को एक चुनौती के रूप में देखती थी, क्लाइमेट चेंज, भारत की इतनी बड़ी आबादी, लोगों को लगता है संकट यहीं जाएगा। आज स्थिति बदल गई। आज हमारा देश क्लाइमेट जस्टिस का अगुवा बनकर उभर रहा है।
Mr. Modi said solar power generation has been increased by 15% in the recent years. He said government is making a hybrid energy power plant in the Kutch region of Gujarat. People are adopting new ways to eliminate single-use plastic and LED bulbs dominate in every household. The Prime Minister said India is moving ahead with a mega global vision, be it the International Solar Alliance, realizing the vision of One Sun, One World, One Grid, or the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure Initiative. Mr. Modi said garbage and agricultural scrap are being converted to produce energy for farmers.
घरों और खेतों से निकला कचरा हो, स्क्रैप मेटल हो, लिथियम आयन बैटरीज हो, ऐसे अनेक क्षेत्रों में रिसाइकलिंग को नई टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है। इससे जुड़ा एक्शन प्लान जिसमें रेगुलेटरी और डेवलपमेंट से जुड़े सभी पहलू होंगे, इसको आने वाले महीनों में अमल में लाया जाएगा।
Mr. Modi also said new investment opportunities and job opportunities are opening up with the development of hybrid and electrical vehicles. The Prime Minister also interacted with farmers from various parts of the country. A Pune-based farmer, Balu Wagmare, said organic production is gaining wide popularity and organic farmers are earning more than usual with the new practices.
सब्जी में बोलो तो हर सब्जी में लेता है, भिंडी, मिर्ची, वांगी, गवार, सब सब्जी लेता है मैं। इसमें है ना, मैं सबसे ज्यादा अपना जैविक खाद्य यूज करता है। नोबेल एक्सचेंज तलेगांव में प्लांट है बायोगैस का, उधर से मेरे से सैंपल में प्रयोग करने में वो कंपनी मेरे को ये देता है। मैंने अभी बोलो तो 2-3 साल वही यूज कर रहा है।
A sugarcane cultivator from Uttar Pradesh, Arvind, said to Mr. Modi that ethanol is helping him earn more profits and farmers of his area are using urea and ethanol to increase the quality of production.
इथेनॉल प्लांट सर लगा है, तो इससे हमको लाभ सर ये मिला है, जो इथेनॉल जो बिकता है सरकार खरीद लेती है, उससे पेमेंट जल्दी होता है मिल वालों को, मिल वाले हमको पेमेंट कर देते हैं। उससे हमको बहुत लाभ है सर, हम अपना टाइम से जो पेमेंट मिल जाता है तो हर चीज टाइम से कर लेते हैं।
In his interaction with the Prime Minister, Amit Kumar from Gujarat said the new plants that are converting garbage to biogas are immensely helping the farmers.
जो गोबर हम स्टोरेज करते थे पहले, वो करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है, वो एरिया पूरा क्लीन रहता है और क्लीनिंग की भी परेशानी नहीं रहती है। और दूसरी, ये तुरंत इनकम हो जाती है और फर्टिलाइजर के रूप में हमें मिल जाता है वापस।
Speaking on the occasion, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said, "Every day is an Environment Day for India." He said trees, animals and birds have always been revered in India.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 2 कल्पनाएं पेरिस में रखी, उसको हमें आगे ले जाना ही हमारा मुख्य काम है, लाइफस्टाइल और क्लाइमेट जस्टिस। और ये दोनों प्रियम्बल में आए, लेकिन उसको आचरण में लाने के लिए भी हम हर बार सभी देशों के साथ सलाह मशवरा करते हैं।
Mr. Javadekar has said that India is one of the few countries where forest cover has actually increased in the last decade. He said the forest and tree cover in country has reached 24.56% of the geographic area, which is spread over 8 lakh square kilometers. He said India has increased its forest and tree cover by 15,000 square kilometers in the last 6 years. The Union Environment Minister further said substantial increase in the population of big cats in the last 7 years reflects the government's commitment towards conservation of wildlife and environment. Highlighting the other initiatives of the government, the Environment Minister has said Phase 2 of the FAME India scheme is being implemented with budgetary support of 10,000 crore rupees to facilitate and enhance electric mobility. The report of the expert committee on the roadmap for ethanol blending in India 2020 to 2025, released by the Prime Minister, has been prepared by the Niti Aayog in collaboration with the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The expert committee has suggested a roadmap for production and supply of ethanol blended petrol. Several key recommendations have been made in this report to increase and augment the production capacity and utilization of ethanol blended petrol. These steps will help in curbing the pollution level and saving revenues used for import of the petroleum products. A report from our correspondent.
India has imported 185 metric tons of petroleum in the last financial year. Over $551 billion was spent on import of petroleum. As per the report, successful adoption of E20 fuel can save over 30,000 crore rupees. E20 fuel is a blend of 20% ethanol with petrol. Besides, ethanol is a less polluting fuel and offer equivalent efficiency at lower cost than petrol. The expert committee has expressed hope that the target of 20% ethanol blending of petrol can be achieved by the year 2025 in the country. It has recommended that sugarcane and grain-based ethanol production capacities shall have to be augmented to achieve the target. It has also recommended that ethanol would need to be supplied from surplus to deficient states to ensure uniform availability across the country. The expert committee has suggested that the retail price of such fuels should be lower than normal petrol for wider acceptability of ethanol-blended petrol. The committee has advised the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas to notify the blending program for all oil marketing companies. It has also been recommended by the committee to launch a nationwide awareness campaign to educate the consumers about the benefits of ethanol-blended petrol and to select correct fuel for their vehicles. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
Every year on 5th of June, people around the globe observe World Environment Day to raise awareness about the importance of nature and to inspire positive change towards the environment. On the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind said, as humanity fights against COVID-19, we reaffirm our commitment to work with global community for a sustainable future. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called upon everyone to intensify the efforts to protect and restore the degrading ecosystems. On World Environment Day, Home Minister Amit Shah said the Modi government has done an unprecedented job of bringing awareness in the society with many efforts in this direction. The theme of this year's World Environment Day is Reimagine, Recreate, Restore, as this year marks the beginning of the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration.
The Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru has achieved net energy neutral status by saving nearly 22 lakh units of energy in 2020-21. The Bangalore International Airport Limited, that manages the airport, announced this today on the World Environment Day. The company has said that the Bengaluru airport meets 98% of its energy requirement through renewable sources. The MD and CEO of the company, Hari Marar, has said that various measures are taken to reduce carbon footprint and protect our environment. The airport has increased the consumption from solar power to over 50 million units. Its utility buildings are fitted with solar panels. The South Runway Airfield is the first airfield in India to be fully powered with an LED lighting system. The country reported 1,20,000 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, which is the lowest in the last 58 days. It is less than 2 lakh daily new cases since 9 successive days. The Health Ministry said the country is recording more recoveries than new cases consecutively for 23 days. In the last 24 hours, over 1,97,000 patients recovered from COVID-19. National COVID recovery rate has improved steadily and continuously, and presently it stands at 93.38%. Meanwhile, more than 22 crore 78 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. On a sustained downward slope, India's active caseload further decreases to 15,55,248. The weekly positivity rate is currently at 6.89%. Daily positivity rate further dipped to 5.78%. It is less than 10% for 12 consecutive days. In the last 24 hours, 3,380 people lost their lives due to COVID-19.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting yesterday to review the progress of India's vaccination drive. During the meeting, officials gave a detailed presentation on various aspects of the vaccination drive. The Prime Minister was briefed about the current availability of vaccines and the roadmap for ramping it up. Mr. Modi was also apprised about the efforts undertaken to help various vaccine manufacturers ramp up production of vaccines. The Government of India is actively working with vaccine manufacturers and helping them in terms of facilitating more production units, financing and supply of raw materials. Mr. Modi reviewed the status of vaccination coverage in healthcare workers as well as frontline workers. He also took stock of the vaccination coverage in the above 45 as well as 18 to 44 age group. The Prime Minister also reviewed the status of vaccine wastage in various states. He instructed that vaccine wastage numbers are still on the higher side and steps need to be taken to bring them down. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that more than 1 crore 65 lakh COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered to the beneficiaries. The ministry has said the central government has provided over 24 crore 30 lakh COVID vaccine doses to the states and union territories so far. Of this, the total consumption of doses, including wastages, is over 22 crore 65 lakh. The Union Health Ministry has said that vaccination is a crucial pillar for containment and management of the COVID-19 pandemic, along with test, track, treat and COVID-appropriate behavior. It said the central government has also been facilitating direct procurement of vaccines by the states and union territories.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that his government will inoculate 10 lakh beneficiaries daily from next month. Women's special camps will also be organized throughout the state. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Mass vaccination drive is going on in the state from 1st June. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that there is enough vaccines available for the vaccination drive in the state. From coming Monday, 2 women special vaccination sessions will be organized in every district of the state so that the women can be inoculated in maximum numbers. Government has suggested trader associations, housing societies and other institutes to come forward and contact with Chief Medical Officer of their district for arrangement of special vaccination camps for their people. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Actor Rakesh Bedi has appealed to the people to get vaccinated. Speaking to AIR News, Mr. Bedi said the vaccination is the only tool in our hands to tackle the challenge of coronavirus.
मैं सभी सुनने वालों से ये प्रार्थना करता हूं कि आप वैक्सीन जरूर लगवाएं, क्योंकि वैक्सीन ही एकमात्र अभी हथियार है हमारे पास जिससे कि हम कोविड-19 से अच्छे तरीके से लड़ सकते हैं। हाँ, मास्क पहनना और सामाजिक दूरी बनाए रखना, साबुन से हाथ धोना वो तो है ही, लेकिन वैक्सीन अगर आपके शरीर में होगी तो एक तरह से बहुत अच्छी ढाल है ये जो आपको कोविड-19 से हमेशा बचाएगी। खुद भी लगवाइए और अपने जानने वालों को भी प्रोत्साहित कीजिए कि वो वैक्सीन जरूर लगवाएं।
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts multiple benefits of clean energy should reach agriculture sector, says India ranks in top 10 nations in Climate Change Performance Index. Prime Minister releases elaborative roadmap for development of ethanol sector on World Environment Day, launches E100 pilot project in Pune related to distribution of ethanol. Forest and tree cover in India increases by 24.56% to over 8 lakh square kilometers, says Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar. India reports 1,20,000 daily new cases of COVID-19, lowest in nearly 2 months. National recovery rate further increases to 93.38%. Over 22 crore 78 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Lockdown extended in Delhi with certain relaxations, markets and malls to be opened on odd-even basis. Tamil Nadu also extends lockdown till 14th June with relaxations. Ministry of Information and Technology sends final notice to Twitter for immediate compliance with new IT rules. And in French Open tennis, Serena Williams storms into 4th round with straight sets win. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. Delhi will continue with lockdown with certain relaxations from next week. Briefing media today, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said markets and malls will be opened on odd-even basis and Delhi Metro will resume services with 50% capacity. Private offices will be allowed to function with 50% of the staff. Group A staff of government offices will be allowed to function with 100% and Group B with 50%. The Chief Minister said his government is ready to face the third wave of COVID-19 and a pediatric task force has been set up. He said 2 genome sequencing labs will be set up for detection of new variants, if any. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has extended the lockdown period in the state by another week along with some relaxations. The relaxed guidelines will be implemented from tomorrow till the 14th of June. The government has announced separate guidelines in 11 districts where COVID count is still a concern. More relaxations have been announced for other districts. We have more from our Chennai correspondent.
According to the new guidelines, standalone shops other than textiles and jewelry will be allowed to function from morning 6 to evening 5 o'clock. Pavement shops and fish markets will be allowed in open spaces. All government offices are allowed to function with 30% attendance. Housekeeping services, electricians, plumbers, motor technicians, carpenters, rental taxis and autos will be allowed with e-registration. Permission from district authorities will be needed for emergency travel to Nilgiris, Kodaikanal, Erkad, Yelagiri and Kutralam. 10% workers in export companies will be allowed for limited activities. Pushcart vendors will be allowed to sell vegetables and fruits in coordination with the local administration. The Chief Minister has advised people to buy things available in their locality and not to use two-wheeler or four-wheeler for the purpose. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Senior BJP leader and former Himachal Pradesh Minister Narinder Bragta passed away in Chandigarh this morning after a prolonged illness. Currently, he was serving as the chief whip of the party in Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly. He was an MLA from Jabbar Kotkhai Assembly constituency. In Maharashtra, different groups of individuals have come forward to help the needy people and relatives of COVID patients admitted in hospitals. These groups are instilling hope in an atmosphere of despair. One such organization is Shri Suvarna Yuva Shakti Group in Nandurbar, who feed approximately 1,000 helpless people twice a day. For initial 8 days, they distributed food to poor and homeless people from their own pockets. But later, many kind-hearted hands have come forward to help these youths, and now their Feeding the Poor mission has taken a gigantic form. This noble cause has been continued since over a month now. Initially, these youths used to prepare the food with the help of family members. However, with time, they have gained expertise in preparing any type of food. Besides, they pack them in containers and distribute to patients, wanderers, and such helpless people. It is to be mentioned that their noble work is inspiring many others in the city.
Britain's medicines regulator has approved the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech for use on 12 to 15-year-old children, following similar clearances in the United States and the European Union. Chief Executive of UK Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, June Rain, said that her agency has carefully reviewed the clinical trial data in children between 12 to 15 years of age. She said the regulator concluded that the Pfizer and BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective in this age group, and that the benefits of this vaccine outweigh any risk. Top American infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci has called on China to release the medical records of 9 people whose ailments might provide vital clues into whether COVID-19 first emerged as the result of a lab leak. Fauci said that he would like to see the medical records of the 3 people who are reported to have got sick in 2019. He added that it must be known that if the 3 people really got sick and what made them sick. The origin of the virus is hotly contested, with U.S. intelligence agencies still examining reports that researchers at a Chinese virology laboratory in Wuhan were seriously ill in 2019, a month before the first COVID-19 case was reported.
The Ministry of Information and Technology today sent a final notice to Twitter for compliance with new IT rules. Our correspondent reports, the IT Ministry panel decided to send a final communication to Twitter asking them to comply with existing law immediately. New intermediary guideline rules have become effective from the 26th of May. After expiry of 3-month period given to social media intermediaries for compliance, Twitter is yet to appoint India-based Chief Compliance Officer, Nodal Contact Person and Grievance Officer. In a bid to ensure free and fair elections in the country and to maximize electoral coverage, the Election Commission of India has made a series of recommendations to the Law Ministry, including cancellation of candidature and increasing the imprisonment to 2 years in case of false affidavit by poll candidates. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra informed that the Commission has suggested the Law Ministry to work on necessary amendments to include more than one cut-off date for inclusion of people turning 18 years into the electoral list.
हम चाहते हैं कि पूरे साल में कई तिथियां हों, जब वो 31 मार्च तक है, वो 18 साल प्राप्त कर लेता है, तब भी वो वोटर बन जाना चाहिए। विधि मंत्रालय से विचार विमर्श भी हुआ है और उनको सुझाव भी भेजा हुआ है। दूसरा हमारा जो इम्पोर्टेंट सुझाव है वो ये है कि हमारा जो इलेक्टोरल रोल है उसको हम आधार से भी लिंक कर दें। सो दैट अगर कहीं पर भी डुप्लीकेट वोटर्स, किसी एक आदमी ने अपना नाम 3 जगह लिखवाया हुआ है, उसको हम ट्रेस कर सकें और उसको हम खत्म कर सकें। और इसके अलावा हम चाहते हैं कि 3-4 और इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे सजेशंस हैं जो कि वहां पर अभी लंबित है। और जैसे कि एक एफिडेविट जो लोग फाइल करते हैं कैंडिडेट, अगर वो एफिडेविट गलत पाया जाता है तो उसकी सजा का प्रावधान 6 महीने का है। हम चाहते हैं उसको बढ़ा के 2 वर्ष किया जाए। और साथ में अगर गलत उसका एफिडेविट है जिसके आधार पर मतदाता ने उसको वोट दिया है, उसका जो कैंडिडेट है वो निरस्त किया जाए।
The exclusive interview with Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra will be broadcast by News Services Division of All India Radio. This can be heard in English on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies in the Spotlight program from 9:15 p.m. onwards. The interview will also be aired in Hindi at 4:30 p.m. today in our program Parikrama.
The Delhi High Court has dismissed a petition filed by actor Juhi Chawla and 2 others against the setting up of 5G wireless networks in the country. Justice J.R. Midday also imposed a fine of 20 lakh rupees on the petitioners for the abuse of the process of law. Justice Midday held that the suit filed by Chawla and 2 others was defective, non-maintainable and also contained unverified and vexatious assertions. As a mark of respect to former President of Mauritius, Anirudh Jagannath, who passed away on Thursday, 1 day's state mourning is being observed today throughout India. The national flag is being flown at half-mast across the country and there will be no official entertainment on the day. Anirudh Jagannath served as the 4th President of Mauritius from October 2003 to March 2012. The Indian origin leader was honoured by India with Padma Vibhushan and Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed grief on the demise of Anirudh Jagannath.
In the French Open tennis, American 7th seed Serena Williams defeated compatriot Danielle Collins 6-4, 6-4 to move into the 4th round of women's singles. Williams will take on 21st seed Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan in the next match. Williams is now the only top 10 player left in her half of the Roland Garros women's singles draw. While selection of stars and surprise packages made it to the 4th round, the remaining matches of the 3rd round will resume today. In men's singles, top seed Novak Djokovic faces unseeded Lithuanian Rikardis Berankis for a place in the 4th round for the 12th straight time, while 8th seed Roger Federer continues his comeback from 2 knee surgeries against German world number 59 Dominic Koepfer. In the 3rd round rematch from the Australian Open, 13-time champion Rafael Nadal squares off against Briton Cameron Norrie in an all-lefty clash. As the southwest monsoon is expected to intensify across Kerala, a yellow alert has been declared in 10 districts of the state. All districts including Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pathanamthitta and Palakkad are under yellow alert. Disaster Management Authority has warned of gusty winds at a speed of 40 to 50 kilometers.
Now let us take a look at today's weather. National capital Delhi is having generally clear sky with possibility of light rain. Mumbai has a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers are expected. Chennai is having generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata has partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Jammu has a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Srinagar has mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Leh, the sky is partly cloudy. Temperature is hovering between 7 degrees to 20 degrees Celsius. Gilgit has a mainly clear sky, and in Muzaffarabad, the temperature is shifting from 20 degrees minimum to 37 degrees Celsius maximum. Sky is partly cloudy with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts multiple benefits of clean energy should reach agriculture sector, says India ranks in top 10 nations in Climate Change Performance Index. Prime Minister releases elaborative roadmap for development of ethanol sector on World Environment Day. Launches E100 pilot project in Pune related to distribution of ethanol. Forest and tree cover in India increases by 24.56% to over 8 lakh square kilometers, says Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar. India reports 1,20,000 daily new cases of COVID-19, lowest in nearly 2 months. National recovery rate further increases to 93.38%. Over 22 crore 78 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Lockdown extended in Delhi with certain relaxations, markets and malls to be opened on odd-even basis. Tamil Nadu also extends lockdown till 14th of June with relaxations. Ministry of Information and Technology sends final notice to Twitter for immediate compliance with new IT rules. And in French Open tennis, Serena Williams storms into fourth round with straight sets win. And with that, we end the midday news.